Hey guys, it's your boy Jay. While I am pretty active on YouTube, I decided I wanted to start streaming as well, and you can find my channel on Twitch, Jayboy_TV, or you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram for constant annoying updates on all my shenanigans. And hey, if you're lucky, you might even get to see my beautiful face. Maybe. Sully, roll the intro, good sir. There's something incredibly satisfying about clenching the meat sticks attached to your hands into a ball and slamming it straight into the chins of various under-equipped aliens, or crushing their jaws with your thumbs. If that sort of thing tickles your fancy, you should probably stick around, because I'm going to show you how warlocks do just that. On another note, I can't begin to describe how difficult it can become to come up with the lines that make these opening scenes unique and comical. Pretty sure I scrapped this intro about 67 times, and guess what? I still hate it. Hey, Sully, do the thing with the screen that makes it look like blinds. Production value. We're going to start with subclasses, as I'm sure everybody knows by now, since I literally do this in every video. First things first, I should mention that there are 3 different variants of this build, and this is the first in that string of videos. Once I can figure out a good setup of opening lines for the next one that don't make people cringe to death, you'll see that on my channel. Alright, substance time. Middle tree Voidwalker. Normally I give a description of the subclass abilities for all the new players, but the only one that's actually of any real use here is Handheld Supernova. For those of you who don't already know, Handheld Supernova overcharges your grenade and makes it hit harder than a refrigerator on wheels rolling down a mountain. It hurts. It also procs Oppressive Darkness, which makes it double hurt. You will need Winter's Guile, I think that's how it's pronounced, for this build. Each melee kill increases the damage of the next, and it stacks on itself 5 times. By the time you get to the end of the chain, you'll be fisting holes in the fabric of space-time. Kinky. Depending on your energy weapon, kinetic and heavy are not important in this build. No recommendations here so long as weapons have barrier rounds. The only weapon you'll need is a shotgun that drops with One-Two Punch. In this video we'll be using Prophet of Doom, but One Small Step, Imperial Decree, or anything else that can be used as a portable stick-shaped meat grinder will also work just as well. Assuming it drops with One-Two Punch. Since this has taken far too long already, let's move on to mods. You'll need at least 3 discipline mods, shotgun loader on your gauntlets, both a breach refractor and ballistic combo on your chest, shotgun scavenger on your greaves, and lastly for your class item you'll need Oppressive Darkness and Hands On. Now that we've gone over all the gear, let's take a look at the damage we're about to cause. When going for high amounts of damage without special weapons like Izanagi's Burden or the Wendigo, you kinda have to think outside of the box. And in this specific scenario, there are 3 individual damage modifiers outside of said box that are calling your name that stack on top of one another, and they are wonderful. Your first goal here is to build up a stack of Warlord's Sigil. The modifier it gives you isn't constant, and the multiplier changes depending on how many stacks you have, and it's actually pretty stupid. The first hit initiates the melee chain, and the rest build on each other, stacking a total of 5 times. Just so everyone knows, I did the math, and it's pretty retarded actually, to the point where I'm not even going to try and bother including it in this video because it makes absolutely no sense. What I mean by that is that there is a variable in this damage equation that your boy over here, Mr. Calculus, doesn't quite understand. Remember to keep in mind that multipliers are all relative to the scale you're instanced in, but that is a topic for another time. This is where Handheld Supernova and Oppressive Darkness come into play. With your stacks of Warlord Sigil active, quickly charge a Handheld Supernova and release it on whatever target you please. Not only does the Supernova rip a hole in the fabric of space-time and the first 6 layers of skin of the poor soul who got slapped by it, but it also procs Oppressive Darkness, which provides a second damage buff on top of the previous 5 stacks. Now, remember, the goal here is to kill the prick, so, lastly, hit said prick with One-Two Punch and then slap him upside the head and watch him disintegrate into a beautiful plume of void energy, much like what just happened on screen. If you're good, you'll have way more health than I did at the very end, assuming you didn't mess this up somehow, that is. Whether or not this is a one-shot command is entirely dependent on whether or not all shotgun pellets hit, whether or not Warlord Sigil is on cooldown, and lastly, whether or not the game decides to have a moment and lunge you in the wrong direction when you go to punch something. It happens, and it is infuriating. This is literally something every Titan wishes they could do. So there you have it, the Warlock One-Punch Man. The strategy goes as follows. Stack Warlord Sigil, hit it with Oppressive Darkness, and then punch it in the mouth. Bam! Dead on arrival. And since One Punch Man is already copyrighted and obviously way cooler, I hereby dub this Warlock Death Fist. Yes, that's right, Death Fist. It's cool and you know it.